What's up, guys? Today I'm out at the range with a Chinese replica of the Winchester 1897. This shotgun's kind of fun, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't had any, bolt bite, I guess, because my hand's far enough back that that bolt coming out's not hitting it. Woo! All right, so the whole reason I have this shotgun was to work on it. One of my friends came up to me and said, hey, this shotgun, it doesn't function. I can't get it to even go forward. It was stuck like this. You could not beat this thing to go forward. So I took it home. I was able to get it to cycle forward so I could disassemble it. And I will say, for a Chinese replica, this thing disassembles exactly the same as a Winchester 1897. Actually, I believe any of those parts would fit in here. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but when I looked at the schematics and looked at this shotgun, I was able to figure out how to repair it. And I'm sorry I don't have any targets right now. At this range, basically steel targets and paper targets are all I can shoot at here. So right now I'm just making sure this gun works. So there's a round in the chamber. Interesting. We have a dead trigger for some reason. And the extractor comes out. That's new. Okay. This is interesting. So, let's see if you can see that. All right, so there's the extractor. It's got this little spring-loaded plunger. And this thing just popped right out. And I was able to get it back in by just depressing that spring and putting the extractor back in. And it's feeding just fine now. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that because I'm hoping that that's not just gonna pop right back out. It's not coming out. It doesn't even show that it's even wanting to. And I shot 50 more rounds through it and it didn't even try. All right, let's try her again. The extractor's holding in just fine. So let's go over what I actually fixed on the shotgun. Actually, one other thing that was wrong with it was this whole block, the cartridge lifter, was also locked upwards. So this was locked upwards, the bolt was locked backwards and all the way back. So it was pretty seized up. So I got home, was able to get it back into battery so I could disassemble it. Once I got it apart, I noticed the bolt was still barely able to move. I had to tap it out of the receiver. I found this little screw. There's a screw right here was sticking out. It was rubbing against the side of the receiver. So I took it out, put some Loctite on it. By the way, I took it out and there's another piece connected to it. I was able to figure that out, but you know, it was kind of a pain. But I put some Loctite on it, put it back in. It doesn't even show signs of coming back out, so that's great. And I also had to do some work on the rails. The rails were deformed, and there was so much rust on the inside of this firearm, it was not even funny. I spent probably an hour or two just cleaning rust out of the receivers. So I got that out, cleaned up the rails, put it back together, and as you can see, it's working just fine. So another thing I found that was wrong with it was the trigger. The trigger just kind of flopped around and didn't even function. And then when I looked at the spring, I understood why. The spring was completely destroyed. I'm not entirely sure how it was destroyed, but it was, I don't understand how it was so weirdly deformed. Well, I happened to have a set of springs around, and I found one that actually matched the hole, and I just cut it to length, put it in there, and as you can see, it works perfectly. So I'm really happy that I was able to fabricate a spring to go in there. Well, not fabricate, cut a spring down, I should say. All right, I do have a little bit of bad news. We have a screw right here that holds the magazine tube. Well, actually it doesn't hold the magazine tube in, it just stops it from churning. It came out, I'm not sure why. The threads don't look the greatest on it, so I'm wondering if that's has something to do with it. But yeah, when I put it back in, it felt snug. It didn't feel like it was going anywhere, but apparently it is. So the owner of this shotgun, I'm sorry I lost that piece for you, but it's nothing dangerous. You just have to make sure that it doesn't unscrew itself because it's held into place by this band. All right, I know somebody's gonna ask me to do this. These things are known for slam fires, and I think they're intended for it. So if you hold the trigger and go, they'll fire. I can't say I was the most comfortable with that. Some people say it's fun. I didn't really enjoy that, but it can do that. And again, I'm sorry that there's no targets for me. Like I said, I would like to throw some clay pigeons, but I don't have a second person out here to do that, so. But I think it would be fun. Oh yeah. I wouldn't say this is the most reliable shotgun I've ever shot. I would not recommend it for home protection, but it is a lot of fun to shoot. So I'm really thankful that the owner of this allowed me to take this out and have a little bit of fun with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future. And I don't know how to count.